Hello, friends. Hi, this is Sylvia from Women Empowerment. How are you? I'm here again. Thank you for joining me for a second week for our midweek empowerment boost. Like I was telling you last week, we always need a little boost in the beginning of the week. It's that hump day, right? That we all struggle so much with. So today, part of what I want to talk to you about is relationships, right? We're talking about finishing the year strong, and we want to finish the year strong in different areas of our lives. So this week's boost is talking about relationships. How do we finish the year strong in relationships? Again, this is Sylvia Arvello from Women Empowerment Services, and I am a life coach and the founder of Women Empowerment Services. So let's talk to you about relationships. Now, when I talk to you about relationships, I'm not talking about my marital relationship. Thank God, everything is good in my marital relationship. But I want to talk to you more about the friendship part of relationships. And, even coaches, believe it or not, also struggle with different relationship issues that are very real to everyday life as women, and that also have a great effect on how we feel and how we think. So I want to talk to you today about different things. And the last few years, I have to tell you that I've been, challenged in some of these areas. And I think it's more normal or more common than we think, but people don't always talk about it. And we think that when we're going through some kind of a dry patch or we're being tested in our friendships, we think that we're the only ones out there going through this. And during the holidays, sometimes we feel it a little more when you can feel a little lonely, or you can feel that, you're being pulled into so many directions and you don't know who to say yes to, who to say no to. So these are things that I feel that we should speak about, and it's going to help you finish the year strong in the area of relationships. Recently, I was taking a test that Michael Hyatt has out there, which I highly recommend. It's called Life Scorecard Assessment. And he looks at different areas of your life where you score it. You put a number score to it, and it asks you different scores for different areas of your life, like finances and your career and different things that I believe it's 5 or 6 areas of your life, and you put a number assessment next to it, and then you also put this year's assessment, and you also score yourself for last year, and you see if you've improved or if you've gone down. And it's an excellent assessment, in my opinion, as a life coach, for you to have and store it. And every year you look at different areas of your life. So why am I telling you this? Because one of the areas that he talks about is your social area, and he speaks about friendships in particular. And he asks you to score different areas of your friendship and how you're doing. And here are some of the categories. So there's 4 different categories, and I'm going to read them off to you because I don't want to say anything incorrect. But one of them, he says, and here's like the lower score kind of thing: I don't have a best friend. I don't have any friends outside of work. There's another category: I don't really have a best friend, but I have very few close friends. Another category is I have a best friend who accepts me for who I am. And he goes into more detail. And then there's another one that says I have a best friend with whom I can share my biggest dreams and my greatest fears. And I think we all want to get there. I think we all want to get to that last category where we can score the highest and say that we have these certain people in our lives. Now, let me remind you, I'm talking about quality over quantity, right? Because I think social media has given us this false sense that the more friends you have, the more popular you are, the more loved you are, or the more important you are to someone. And we all know that's not the case, right? It's what kind of quality friends do you really have in your life? Those are the people that we want to count. Those are the people we want in our lives. So a few years ago, I learned a method that has been such a valuable tool for me as a coach, as a person, as a woman, when I look at the areas of friendships. And it's called the friendship baskets. And basically what you do is you rank your friends and you place them in different baskets. This is not a bad thing. This is knowing where these people stand in your life. So basket number one, right? In basket number one, you have 1 to 5 people in this basket. And what are these people? These people are the people that, like Michael Hyatt states, you share your dreams with, you share your fears with, you share your true struggle with, right? No filter. And in that category, you have 1 to 5 people, like I stated. Listen, I think if you have 5 people, you're a lucky girl, because there's so much trust and so much intimacy that happens at this level that you have to be sure of who you have in this category. Who have you placed in this category? Then you have your basket number 2 friends, and there you have 15 to 20 people. And these are people that are a little more than acquaintances. They're not your best friends or your intimate friends, but they're more like people that you have common things with. You either belong to a book club together, or you're part of some kind of, knitting group or mind set group, or, you do something together and you meet on a regular basis. But you wouldn't share your intimate thoughts with that person, or you wouldn't share maybe your dreams or your fears. You share common things, and things that you don't mind if it gets out into the public. Okay, so that's your basket number 2 friends, and they're 15 to 20 people. Then you have your basket number 3 friends, and in basket number 3, you can have 50 to 100 people in that basket. Why? Because these are acquaintances. These are people that you meet at the doctor's office on a regular basis. It's the receptionist. It's at the school. It could be your child's teacher. It could be at work, your coworkers that you have. It could be anyone that you see on a regular basis. A Zumba class, your exercise class, you meet at the gym, the person that takes in your name at the gym. You know them by their first name, and you have small talk with them. So those are your basket number 3 friends. Now, why is this important? Because if you have a basket number 3 friend in your first basket, where that's your intimate friends, guess what? Your expectation of that relationship is different, and you may be sharing things that you shouldn't be sharing with someone that hasn't gained that trust in your life yet. So it's important for us to know where the people that are in our lives, where do they fit in? Where do they fit in? Because there's only so much of me to go around. So if you figure, if I have 100 people in my number 3 basket, if I have 20 people in my number 2 basket, it's 120 people. And then I have my 5 people in basket number 1, guess what? I have 125 people that I have to take care of and nurture and pour into and remember birthdays and do everything. That's impossible for me. I don't have enough time to take care of 125 people. That's why it's so important for you to know where do they stand? Where do these people stand? So, that's something that I want you to categorize, get in your mind, where do these people fit? And then there's certain expectations that go along with those people, right? So if my basket number 1 friend forgets my birthday, well, I'm going to be hurt by that. Now, if my basket number 2 and my basket number 3 friend forgets my birthday or something, maybe it's on my birthday, maybe it's something that's very important to me. Well, guess what? I'm not going to be hurt by that, because there's not that expectation with these people. These are basket number 2 and number 3 people. Okay. So I think it's safe from the expectation side on knowing what baskets these people fall in, but it's also where do you put your time and effort and your finances, right? Because we go out to drink with friends, we go out to eat with friends. Where do I pour into? What do I nurture? I have to know where these people stand. So I wanted to share with you that I'm also reading a book written by John Maxwell that's called Being Intentional, or I should say Intentional Living, Choosing a Life That Matters. And in it, John talks about 4 different things that successful people know, or 4 different areas that successful people are very good at. Who doesn't want to be successful, right? Here are the 4 areas that John Maxwell talks about: relationships, equipping, attitude, and leadership. Those are the 4 areas that successful people are good at, which I have to tell you, if you're not paying attention to your relationships, that's one of the areas that you're not going to be successful in. And it looks at the overall picture of successful people. So what do I say? Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because it's important that you look at your relationships and know the people that matter. Know the people that at the end of the day are the ones that hold you when you need it. They're the ones that have your back. They're the ones that, when you need a pep talk, and we all need it, even coaches, they're there. If you're a person of faith, when you need prayer, you know who to go to. And, when you're going through a rough patch and you need to have a good talk, and you want to talk to someone, if you're married, someone that's not your husband, you want to have someone outside of the marital relationship that you can speak to, which I recommend that it's of the same sex, the same gender, then you have that person there. But you're not going to have that person overnight. Those are people that you've been nurturing throughout the year, or those are people that you've been pouring into for a period of time. So when you're looking for a basket number one, you don't meet someone in the street and all of a sudden say, now you're my basket number one friend. No, they have to go up the ladder, if you will. They have to go from basket number 3 to basket number 2 to basket number 1. Why? Because it's important to test the trust level of this relationship. It's important to know what they can be trusted with and what they cannot. What can they handle and what they cannot. So you do that by throwing little pebbles, if you will, of information and see how they do with it. I have friends that I've known for years, and they're very dear friends, but they're not basket number 1 friends. They're basket number 2 friends for different reasons. One is that they can't handle the level of intimacy that I want to have with them. They're not there with me. They haven't built that. We haven't nourished that. So that tells me that they're not ready to go to basket number 1. Okay? They stay in basket number 2. It doesn't make them less people. It doesn't make them bad people. It doesn't mean that I love them any less. It just means that I don't share such intimate moments or intimate things with them. Okay? So another quote that I heard in the last coming weeks, and it's by Les Brown. And you all know he's a motivational speaker. I really like to read and listen from Les Brown. And one of the things he says is upgrade your relationships. You don't need to be around people who don't have goals and dreams. And he calls these people, people who aren't motivated. And he calls them, surround yourself with OQP people. What does OQP mean? So it says, surround yourself only with quality people. Okay? Only with quality people. So who are the OQPs in your basket number 1? Evaluate that. And I always give you homework. So your homework for this week is look at the people that you have in your circle, in your inner circle. Do they deserve to the level of intimacy or nourishment or time and finances that you're giving them? And maybe they deserve a different level. And what about other people that have been consistent, that have been there for you? But yet, because you're distributing your time and efforts amongst all 3 baskets, now your basket number 1 people can't get the best of you. And I think your basket number 1 deserves the best of you, okay? So another thing that I do want to remind you is we're talking friendship. We're not talking family. We're not talking children. We're not talking spouses. We're talking friendships, okay? So look where you need to adjust. Where do you need to change things? Where do you need to pour into? And this week, start building your baskets and start putting names next to it. And you have 3 weeks to nourish them. Maybe, hey, have coffee with one of them and let them know. Let them know how important they are in your life. So there's your boost for this week. Hope it was helpful to you. Go out there, consider which friends are more important than others, and come back. Next week, we'll talk about how else to finish the year strong. We're going to look at your dreams and your efforts. Okay? So stay tuned and come back Wednesday. Remember, grab your lunch.